Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for joining us for Cityline. You saw in the wide shot, Jennifer is still over there from Happy Belly and is going to be with us in our final segment today. But joining us for this segment is Katie Buckingham from the Museum of Glass to let us know all the wonderful things that are coming up there. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thanks so much for having us, Chris.
Now, you've got some new exhibitions opening this fall. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yes, we have two really incredible exhibitions. Nancy Callan, Forces at Play, opened a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of October. And on November 16th, we're opening an exhibition called Field Notes, Artists Observe Glass.
Ooh, and I think we have a video of Nancy's.
Yes, please.
Let's take a look at that video.
I'd love to.
I create things that I want to see in the world, and I'm curious about what they're going to look like. And I won't know if I like them or not until I make them. It's so hard to express what you want to express in words, and I think that's one thing that really drew me to being a visual artist in the beginning, was that I didn't have to try to explain myself. I could just make. When you're working with hot glass, you have to be in the moment, like every bit of the way. You can't lose your concentration. You have to just keep going. It's just a beautiful rhythm that you get into when you work. It's like everything else disappears. It's dangerous, and it's hot, and it's fast, it's fluid, and it's really challenging. And I love that about glass. Coming up with new ideas and new forms and new patterns, new designs. I feel like it's boundless.
Every time I watch glass blowing, I'm just calm watching them work that. It's so amazing. So Nancy's show, what are you most excited about for Nancy's show?
So Nancy, who you saw in the video, is truly one of the most technically accomplished glassblowers in the world, I would say, and she's here local in the Pacific Northwest. She's been working here for 30 years or so, and the work in the show is all based on the things that Nancy finds interesting about the world, which, as I learned while we were working on the exhibition, is pretty much everything. So her perspective on comics, on fashion, on science and nature is, throughout the show. This piece that we're looking at here, Catwoman Stinger, is named after the Marvel comic, and you can't tell in the picture, but it's probably goes up to my shoulders.
Oh, wow.
So Nancy worked with an Italian maestro named Lino Tagliapietra and truly can render things that look impossible in a way that makes them look easy. So what we have in the gallery is the result of her 30 years of learning, and is some of the most technically accomplished glass that you can see here in the Northwest.
The Northwest, it's the glass
Yeah.
magnet for everything, it seems. Now, the exhibition is called Forces at Play. Mm-hmm. So what are some of those themes that we feel when we're going? You said there's a 30-year catalog.
Yeah, 30-year catalog. She would tell you it's not a retrospective because she very much is still making art and has more to do now that the show is open. But the show focuses on three thematic ideas. There's pop art and graphics, so Marvel comics, snowmen, things you recognize from the world around you. Pattern and textiles focuses on fashion, which is a love of Nancy's. And it's cool for us because it is a way to take historic glassblowing techniques and do something contemporary with them. And the last section is nature and wonders, which is the newest work in a lot of ways that Nancy's been making, and is about things that are hard to describe that make her excited in science and the world.
What does Nancy mean to the glass community?
Nancy is a tour de force. So many of us admire her. She has been working in our own glassblowing studio since the museum opened. She's had 10 residencies. A good chunk, 10 pieces of the exhibition were made at the museum and have been made in the last few years. So if you've been to the museum to see Nancy, you'll see the final product. But also as a woman and a member of the LGBTQ community, she really is a breaker of glass ceilings and a mentor for a lot of the up-and-coming artists in the area.
That is absolutely wonderful. There she is at work in the art shop with that. Now, that's not the only thing happening. We've got field notes happening too. What about Field Notes excites you? And tell us a little bit about that.
So Field Notes looks at artists who observe nature and use art to record their observations. So if you think like a scientist who's taking notes, but doing it visually. And what I think is incredible is those artists are doing that with molten glass. So like take Vittorio Costantini, who's up here on the screen. These are life-size bugs. So they're quite a bit smaller than the photo makes them look, and they are only glass. There's no paint. It is just painstaking sticks of glass heated up until they're molten and fused together. So the whole exhibition is about artists who faithfully render nature using this really molten, dangerous material.
Those are absolutely beautiful.
They're incredible, and we're gonna have a large cabinet of 100 or so of them. So.
Probably one, if you're scared of bugs, probably not the best one to get too close to.
You know, they are, you would think that, but they are so realistic that they don't help but draw you in.
Now, we've got some other artists as well.
Yes. So we have historic artists like Renee Lalique sort of set the stage for this century of artists thinking the same way, but a lot of local rock stars. You just saw Flora C. Mason, Joey Kirkpatrick, and William Morris, who's another long-standing rock star in glass. And they all make art that's about things in our local communities. So if you're an outdoor nut, a lot to see and things you'll recognize from our world here in the Northwest.
That's amazing. So with Field Notes, we're talking about themes of outdoors. We're talking about themes of everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is something that excites you the most out of Field Notes?
I would say two things excite me, and they work with Nancy's show as well. I hope people come and say, wow, I can't believe you can make that with glass. But I also hope both shows are really about being inspired by the beauty in the world around us. So I hope that people leave wanting to look more closely or make something themselves.
What is unique? You've picked these two exhibitions to be here in the fall. What is unique about them that made you say, this is the time that these two need to be here?
For me, I feel like it's about having, like, there's some of the winter blues for me personally growing up here in the Northwest, like being excited about the world around you and wanting to make something in a time when we're most of the time indoors. But I also hope that it is a time to think about art and the positive things in the world. You know, like there's a lot of beauty in what we have in our own lives, and we can all be inspired by things that say more about us as people. So I hope people come see the exhibition and are inspired and energized when they leave.
That's fantastic. Now, what drew you to glass? I mean, you've got this beautiful glass necklace, so I know glass is something you are passionate about. What drew you to glass?
The molten lava, for sure. If you come to the museum, the first thing you'll probably see is our hot shop, which is one of the largest glassblowing studios on the West Coast. And it truly is amazing to watch artists work with molten glass. The glass that comes out of our furnace is hotter than the lava that erupts from Kilauea in Hawaii. So the ability to watch how hard it is to make glass and then see the finished product in the gallery is my favorite part.
Do we need to make reservations to come see these exhibits, or can we walk in?
You can walk in. You can buy tickets on our website, museumofglass.org, but they're also for sale when you walk in the door. We have a great new cafe, a wonderful store if you want to take some glass home yourself, and some really exciting projects coming through our hot shop this winter.
It's always fun to go into the Museum of Glass because so much is happening.
Yeah, it's a busy, we're always busy.
Katie, I want to thank you for coming and spending the morning with us and letting us know about these fabulous exhibits that are opening at the Museum of Glass. And I know that I'm definitely going to have to make my time carved out to go down there and see that.
We hope you do.
Now, coming up after the break, we're going to get ready for Trunk or Treat. And that's right, you heard me. It's trunk, not trick. And you'll see what that means when we come back from the break. Thank you so much.